All right, it's a pleasure to be here today in Busan and talk about the open metaverse. So I hope that I will be able to share with you a little bit more about our vision and how we'd like to build it together and create a whole ecosystem behind that anyone can access and benefit from. Before, I'd like to give you a brief overview of what the metaverse looks like currently, what you can do in it, as we've launched the Alpha Season 3, where you can already play more than 98 experiences built by brands, built by creators, built by the community using the tools of our platform. So you can attend already virtual shows, games, adventures, quests, social hubs, dance clubs, and much more, featuring brands like Atari, Rabbids, The Walking Dead, Care Bears, the music artists like Sweco, Warner Music Group, of course. But also play with your NFTs, like World of Women or Bored Ape. Pororo, if you're familiar, Atari. So it's live. It's live until November 2nd, and it gives you the opportunity to create your avatar and start entering the metaverse. Quick poll, who has already heard about the Sandbox in the room? Raise your hand. All right, it's progressing well year after year. And so that's a chance. It gives me a chance to tell you a little bit more about what is the open metaverse more precisely and how we can contribute and build it all together. We see the metaverse as this myriad of virtual world where anyone can access through an avatar, that character that becomes our new digital identity, a 3D representation of ourselves. We can access more social, more immersive, more fun, more creative, more interactive experiences, games, adventure, and much more. But at the very beginning, the metaverse will be literally empty. Yes, we have to build it, populate it with content and with life, meaning people. To do that, we provide the tools to facilitate content creation, specifically with our 3D editor, VoxEdit. Voxel being like digital Legos, anyone can use them without reading the user manual, animate their content, and create experiences as well with our no-code game maker. But beyond user-generated content, we also want to bring culture into that space. And so we have now over 400 major partners from all around the world in lifestyle, in fashion, in gaming, in music, in entertainment, and much more, that bring their content, they bring their characters, their stories, their location that we're already familiar with in the real world, and then we bridge the real world to the virtual world by having content that we can use as NFTs, and we can start creating, mixing, remixing, publishing on our own land, and monetizing as well. For the first time, we are bringing user-generated content, and we are mixing content with brands as well. So we're going to experience new type of experiences. With our avatar, we can own content, we can build alone or together, we can socialize, we can meet people, we can play, we can work, we can learn, and we can earn. That's very important. And we're doing all of that using blockchain technology and open standards. We've contributed by co-creating the ERC 1155 standard, and now the Sandbox is almost fully moved to Polygon as well. And I'm sure everyone has heard about NFTs. You understand those are token, digital asset on the blockchain, digital assets that are scarce, that can hold value. And because they hold value, we can develop on top of them a new economy with services, a digital economy, which will also lead to the creation of millions of jobs. And going further, even pushing toward decentralized finance and even decentralized governance. The metaverse is built on virtual land. So on that land, which is a piece of digital estate where you can publish an experience and make it accessible to other users with your avatar, you can own it, you can rent it, you can publish and create on it. And what makes lands unique versus like application and store is we have a map. Lands are connected to each other. So on that map in Sandbox, we have 464 land in total. Each one is unique as an NFT that you can use, rent, transfer, sell as you want. And you can put your logo, you can reinforce a notion of ownership, and you can become the virtual neighbor of literally any brand, any community, any project. Meaning that when people with their avatar are entering a land, they can move to the edge of that land and enter the next one. So there is really this proximity, this spatial location that change everything versus what we've seen before. We've sold about 70% of that map today. We continue to release regularly, so there will be towards the end of the year a new land sale with major partner. And the beauty about this concept of neighborhoods is it's putting together the community to co-create the space much beyond a single land, but around a whole neighborhood. About the brand, I mentioned before culture. We want to make the metaverse accessible to anyone. It is a new digital nation without frontier. It is global, but to succeed globally, it also has to appeal people locally. That's why Sandbox puts so much effort to have a presence in Korea and in other regions of the world, including IPs and brands, mostly from entertainment, that will appeal to you. So users come first for the IPs they are fans of, but they stay on the platform to discover much more, participate into various activities, and also engage with the user-generated content. And we have in Sandbox brands such as Pororo, and also SM Entertainment, CJ Entertainment, Dong, Kansong Museum, Lotte World, even Samyang is part of the Sandbox, and we will announce even more in Korea by the end of the year. But we also have brands from Hong Kong, from Japan, from US, and we've recently announced the Dubai-verse, the Singapore-verse, British-verse, Turkey-verse, and many more regions of the world, so we can collaborate and bring all that culture online. But we also find brands and communities that are directly born in Web3. And that's great, because most of those communities, they already have NFTs that they launched a few months or years ago. Those NFTs, they are often just a collection of a few thousand to 10,000 images or videos, and you cannot do much with them. You own them, you're part of the community, you can engage on Discord channel, maybe you can have access via token gating system to certain feature, maybe you can buy merchandising, but that's pretty much it. We want to add value and reinforce the ecosystem, so we have been one of the pioneers in interoperability to add real utility, real use cases, additional use cases to those collections, typically transforming 2D profile picture into 3D characters that then can jump, can run, can walk, can fight, can die, or can even dance and express themselves. And so the holder of those collections can use this character, can socialize with other users, into lands that are owned by the project, and can also become their virtual neighbor to start creating more experience and expand their community, which was just character or images at the beginning, to become a full IP, a full brand with a virtual world and many other activities that can be done for their holder. And that's really how we see the future of gaming, and we see how Web3 can empower, in general, this whole industry, is by enabling users to be able to build, to create content, to collect content, to fully own it and have the possibility to transfer it, sell it, monetize it, and use it across any other decentralized application. And even more, be rewarded for the time they're going to spend creating or playing. This is valuable engagement, and use even more the token that they earn to govern the world and participate into the future decision on how those worlds are going to evolve. We provide the tools to do that, so we've been building those tools since 2018. Sandbox has been one of the pioneers in blockchain gaming, and we started by providing VoxEdit, our 3D editor, a marketplace, a map, and a no-code game maker, again, thinking on how we are making content creation as accessible to anyone. Even if you've never learned a programming language before, even if you've never learned how to make 3D content, and that's the beauty of this metaverse, is it's it's making it able to bring people from various origins, from various countries, from various education backgrounds. It offers the possibility to create a new world that is more fair in essence. And you're going to see how we are going to push even further that idea of more inclusivity and diversity in the metaverse. Remember, I told you about the avatar, that 3D character that becomes your new representation, your new identity. We want that avatar to be unique, distinguishable, and we want you to have the possibility, the freedom to choose this avatar to be man, woman, non-gendered, or even non-human. You can create it the way you want, but you can also use one avatar from a collection from various celebrities, etc., each one being unique. So there's only one person in the world that can be Snoop Dogg in Gucci. We also work on bringing style, working with brand and fashion, etc. And I think we want to go even further. So, it's a bit loud, sorry. The idea behind is we want also to be the sandbox, the place where all avatars can come, be interacted with, play, have fun with. So we are a platform, open. We do not need to create all the content ourselves. It will be created either with the tools by the community themselves, or they will come from all the Web3 projects in the space as a great demonstration of interoperability. And this is not just theory. It has started. We have made already 13 of the most popular NFT collection interoperable. So if you own a Bored Ape, a Cool Cat, a Clonex, a Gutter Cat Gang, a Cyberkongs, and we're adding more and more collection over time, you can use those and play in the sandbox right now. So you should try and tell us if you like it. What kind of activities can be done in the metaverse? Sandbox started with gaming. So yes, you can create your own games, adventure games, RPG games, platformers, treasure hunts, etc. But we're expanding this new format of entertainment much, much beyond gaming. We want you to be able to have social activities, to dance, to express yourself, to discover new artists, NFT art as you enter into Sandbox. That's actually the first thing you see when you enter a social hub in Sandbox, is to discover our collection of art that we acquired from within the Web3 community and discover new artists. You can visit virtual museum, virtual shows, and we hope to launch the first virtual concert in Sandbox by the end of the year. Ultimately, there will be all the activities of the real world that will be made possible in the metaverse, and that, thanks to this technology, to this major disruption, will be expanded. So we can imagine working, learning, socializing, dating, even getting married in the metaverse is possible. Last week it happened, the first wedding in the metaverse with a couple from Singapore that I had the honor to pronounce husband and wife. That's really how I see this evolution. This metaverse is going to benefit us, is going to create a positive impact in the real world by providing new jobs, new skills. Literally, millions of jobs are going to be needed to make the metaverse successful. Creator jobs like architect, house designer, fashion designer for the avatar, game designers for creating the rules that are going to make the game and experience more fun, but also jobs related to content discovery, curators, tour guides, even animators or community managers, people who are here in lands to welcome you, to give you a more custom, unique experience to each of us, but also new businesses, virtual real estate agent, NFT collection manager, ticket seller for virtual events, and much more. Ultimately, the dream, I would say, is being a gamer is also becoming a job, so you can earn a revenue by entering those lands, exploring the metaverse, completing quests, and receiving rewards, whether they are NFT items or token. You can keep them, you can use them to improve your avatar, your skills, you can sell them on a marketplace and potentially turn it into a revenue stream. One more thing, we really think that the success of the metaverse will come from the success of the people who contribute building it. Basically, the metaverse will be as good as the content we are going to find in it. So we want to see amazing experience. We want to see new experience, new form of experience that we haven't seen before on other platforms. That's why it is so important to support this ecosystem of builder studios and agencies all around the world so they can bring to life their ideas, crazy ideas sometimes, and use their creativity to express themselves. We're proud to support now more than 200 studios around the world. We have 7 in Korea. I had a chance to meet them yesterday during a meetup in Seoul. 3 studios in Hong Kong, 5 studios in France, more than 10 in the US, and so on and so on. And can you imagine that those studios, a year ago, they were like just 1, 2 people. They quit their job, or because of the pandemic, they discovered about Sandbox. They started using the tools, they participated into a contest or a game jam. They found that their skills, they were creative, they were having fun creating, and they like engaging with their skills. And today, most of those studios, those are companies with 10, 20 people, running business, building for lands, for brands, generating revenue, growing. The largest studio has grown in the US to 100 people and has been acquired already by another business as we are starting to see consolidation in the space. That's really interesting. What an amazing journey. And we are here to keep supporting them in this journey. I'd like to share 5 main tips for you to remember on how to best approach entering the metaverse. Because yes, you've been hearing the metaverse is this next $1 trillion opportunity in many reports like JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and a few more. But I think like most people are still thinking entering the metaverse like they are thinking building a Web2 startup. So the first thing you need to remember is you're not entering the metaverse to generate a revenue immediately. You're not entering the metaverse to extract value from the users. You're entering the metaverse to actually give value to users. So initially, you're going to invest into a land, into building an experience, into constructing this creator economy and hiring builders and artists, and offer something of value that your fans, your users, will enjoy, because they will enjoy spending time and discovering and interacting for, in a general, half an hour, 1 hour, sometimes more, with you into your land. And you want to reward them for that engagement, so offering them content, NFTs that you distribute. You want also enter the metaverse with really an open mind, meaning that embracing this NFT culture, having NFTs from other projects in your land, doing partnership and collaboration with other projects, being involved and into the community, this is the spirit of Web3. You also want to open your brand or your content, your community, your project towards user-generated content. That's something that Sandbox has really gone fully into, the idea that you can use the tool and allow anyone to create, using your NFT, using your content, the experiences with you. So you're co-creating your presence in the metaverse with your neighbors, you're expanding it, and everyone is enjoying participating and being part of that process. And finally, but that should have been the first thing I should have told, putting creativity first. Do not try to copy the real world in the metaverse. This is not interesting. This is pretty boring. You want people to be amazed. You want people to be surprised. And that's why you should take risk, innovate, and make things that would put your brand toward the future in the metaverse. And if you are inspired, but you do not know where to start, you have an idea, and you're looking for support, we have a team in Korea which you can contact. And we have also a fund, the Game Maker Fund, where you can submit your project, and we'll be happy to look at them, help you build them, train you, as we have a lot of resources. We invest a lot into education programs and academies. Here again in Korea, we have 8 academies, which help to teach the skills needed to become a creator, an artist, an architect, a designer, or a player of the metaverse. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope to see you in the metaverse. You can create your avatar right now. See you in Sandbox. Thank you, Samida.
Thank you very much for that great presentation. 네, 다시 한번 감사합니다. Sebastien, can you just wait just for 1 second? So it's in Korean, and I will read it into English for you. So in Sandbox, for us as developers, apart from actual users, how can we actually participate, and what kind of benefits can we reap from it?
So it's true that we've designed the Sandbox and the Sandbox tools with a no-code approach, because we wanted to really make it accessible to anyone as possible. However, because Sandbox is decentralized, because all the assets are on the blockchain, you can use the Sandbox tool to create the content while you develop your own service DApp to distribute with your own custom smart contracts those tokens. And that's one of the possibilities. You can also create various services that are going to leverage land or avatars typically, and then have your own community, your own project, etc.
So a whole range of opportunities for developers as well. All right, thank you. Here's the next question.
One more thing.
Yes, one more thing. All right, go ahead.
One more thing, to encourage developers and entrepreneurs, we actually have launched an accelerator program in partnership with Brink. We support 10 startups a year in which we invest, and we hope that those startups are going to build the next generation of services leveraging the Sandbox assets.
All right, so another benefit for them. Thank you. So next question. Users want to use avatars or items on Sandbox, decentralized, pedo, etc. Is there any works for inter-metaverse platforms?
Yes. Because all those assets, the avatar, the item, are already on the blockchain and using the Ethereum ERC-721 or 1155 standard, you can already read into the user wallet that they own those items and give them a utility or representation across world. The implementation is still dependent on the destination platform. So if an item is created in Sandbox, it's still up to Decentraland or Zepeto to decide if they want to allow using it and how to use it. To push forward more adoption of interoperability, we've created the Open Metaverse Alliance, the OMA3, which we have members from Decentraland, from CryptoVoxel, from Somnium Space, from the Sandbox, from Animoca brand, from Upland, and a great range of all Web3 decentralized virtual world, so that we can push more toward facilitating that across all of us.
Well, thank you for that answer. I think, yes, there's one more. Is the data saved on the blockchain? And the more users you have, I believe that there may be some performance issues. How will those be addressed? And up until now, were there any critical performance issues? And how did you address them?
So at the moment, the Sandbox only has the asset on the blockchain. So we have what is called a player-owned economy. Land, avatar, asset, and the Sand token are on-chain, whereas the game itself runs on a game client and game server in a centralized manner. But the gameplay rules are not on-chain, and we do not store the game stats, etc. yet on-chain, because scalability reason, etc. That might evolve in the future. We'll see how layer 2s or the main Ethereum network will allow for that. So at the moment, there is no performance issue related on the player ownership side, because you only require the blockchain at the moment of there is an actual transaction, meaning like minting a token, or transacting from buying for a primary sale or a secondary sale, which still is contained. and we're able to run with thousands of concurrent users in the sandbox without any issue.
Well, thank you very much for the Q&A as well, and for a great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause. Thank you.